Most people think they know what a red flag looks like. They picture lies, manipulation, betrayal, anger. But the most dangerous red flag almost never looks dangerous. It feels exciting. It feels intense. It feels like you've finally met someone who understands you better than anyone else ever has. Your heart races every time your phone lights up. Their attention feels like oxygen. Their absence feels unbearable. And you call it love. But psychology has another name for it. Addiction. The relationships that are hardest to leave rarely begin with fear. They begin with intensity. And today, we're going to explore why the relationship that feels magical in the beginning often becomes the one that quietly breaks you. Because sometimes, your biggest warning sign doesn't scare you. It seduces you. Everyone talks about spotting red flags. Very few people talk about why intelligent people miss them. Not because they're naive. Not because they're desperate. But because your brain wasn't designed to chase healthy relationships. It was designed to notice emotional significance. Your brain isn't asking, "Is this relationship good for me?" It's asking, "Does this relationship matter?" Those are two very different questions. And once you understand that difference, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Our culture teaches us that love should feel overwhelming. That if someone is constantly on your mind, if your emotions are all over the place, if you're terrified of losing them, it must be real love. But psychology tells a different story. Healthy attachment creates calm. Unhealthy attachment creates obsession. One feels peaceful. The other feels unforgettable. And because we've spent years romanticizing emotional chaos, millions of people mistake anxiety for chemistry. Now imagine two different relationships. In the first one, the other person is consistent. They reply when they say they will. They keep their promises. They make you feel emotionally safe. In the second, they disappear for days. Then suddenly return with affection. One day they're warm. The next they're distant. Which relationship creates stronger emotions? Surprisingly, usually the second. Not because it's healthier. Because your brain hates uncertainty. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. It's the same principle that makes slot machines addictive. You don't keep playing because you always win. You keep playing because you might win. Every unpredictable reward teaches your brain to keep hoping. Eventually, you're no longer chasing the person. You're chasing the possibility. That's why people often say, when it's good, it's amazing. They're remembering the emotional high, not the emotional cost. Healthy love doesn't keep you guessing. It keeps you growing. Toxic love keeps you waiting. Here's where it becomes even more interesting. The physical symptoms of anxiety look almost identical to the symptoms of falling in love. Your heart races. You lose sleep. You can't stop thinking about the other person. Your attention becomes completely focused on them. Your brain notices all of this and reaches one simple conclusion. Something important is happening. But it doesn't always know why. Researchers call this misattribution of arousal. Your body experiences intense emotion, and your mind creates a story to explain it. Instead of saying, "I don't feel emotionally safe," it says, "I've never felt chemistry like this before." That's one of the biggest psychological traps in dating. When chaos becomes familiar, peace feels strange. And if your past relationships have always been unpredictable, a healthy relationship may actually feel boring at first. Not because it's missing passion, but because it's missing chaos. And those are not the same thing. The question isn't whether someone gives you butterflies. The question is, why do they? Nearly every unhealthy relationship begins the same way. Not with cruelty. With perfection. They text constantly. They make you feel like the most important person in the world. They tell you they've never met anyone like you. It feels as if they've known you forever. You begin thinking, finally, someone who truly understands me. But here's the question most people never ask. How can someone genuinely know you before they've had time to know you? Sometimes they can't. What you're experiencing isn't intimacy. It's intensity. Psychologists often call this love bombing. It feels like unconditional love. But real intimacy isn't built in days. It's built through time. Consistency. Disagreements. Repair. Shared experiences. Healthy love grows slowly because trust grows slowly. Manipulation moves fast. Because the faster someone becomes your emotional center, the harder it becomes to imagine life without them. And that's exactly where many people become trapped. If you've ever stayed in a relationship that was clearly hurting you, you've probably asked yourself one painful question. Why can't I just leave? People around you make it sound easy. Move on. Know your worth. You'll find someone better. But if it were that simple, you would have left already. The truth is, you aren't only attached to the person. You're attached to the future you imagined with them. The conversations you thought you'd have. The life you believed you were building together. The version of them you hoped would finally appear. Walking away doesn't just mean losing someone. It means letting go of an entire future your mind has been protecting. That's why leaving feels so painful. Your brain hates abandoning unfinished stories. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. When reality clashes with what we desperately want to believe. Our minds often protect the belief instead of accepting the truth. Instead of saying, "This relationship is unhealthy," we say, "They're just stressed. Things will get better. They're afraid of getting hurt." Notice what happens. Every warning sign becomes another explanation. Not because you're blind. Because your brain is trying to rescue the story you've already invested in. Then another psychological trap appears. The more time, energy, love, and hope you've invested, the harder it becomes to leave. Even when staying hurts more than walking away. Psychologists call this the sunk cost fallacy. It's the same reason people keep pouring money into a failing investment. Or continue watching a terrible film simply because they've already watched an hour of it. Your brain says, "I've already come this far." But time invested doesn't make a bad decision become a good one. In fact, the greatest trap isn't loving the wrong person. It's believing that leaving would make everything you've already endured meaningless. So you stay. Not because you're happy, but because you're hoping your past sacrifices will eventually be rewarded. Hope can be beautiful. But in unhealthy relationships, hope often becomes the very thing keeping you trapped. Here's something worth remembering. Love should ask you to build a future. Not to constantly wait for one. Because every extra day spent waiting for someone to become the person they promised to be is another day you're postponing the life you actually deserve.